for tuning in to this month's edition of Inconspicuous Influencers. Today I'm going to be speaking to the lovely Stephanie Hart. But just before we get started, we're going to do things a bit differently, and what we've decided to do is to focus on the topics of beauty, body confidence and body image, and just discuss the surrounding issues that kind of revolve around those topics. I'm going to shut up for a bit and give Stephanie a chance to introduce herself to us and tell us a bit more about who she is and what she does.
Okay. I'm Stephanie Hart, I'm 24 years old and I've been campaigning here in the UK and abroad internationally for about 4 years now, around the issues of body confidence, body image, beauty, lack of role models in the media.
In a sentence, what does being influential mean to you?
It means making, I think, a positive impact in somebody else's life. It doesn't have to be many people, it doesn't have to be like a whole community or a whole country. You can be influential to the person next to you or on the street, just one person, and just change their life for the better.
Now give us a bit of background into how it all started.
The journey began because I was a mentor for young girls been a mentor for about 4 years now. I started when I was quite young, and I started with girls who were year 7, year 6.
Okay.
And I remember we had the one-on-ones and we talked, we had fun sessions, and we talked about different stuff, and image of self-worth and how they felt about themselves came up, and we were doing all this mentoring stuff at church. So I was chatting to the girls, and I dropped one of the girls home after one of the sessions that we had, and they began telling me about, one of the girls in particular began telling me about how she left the house one day without wearing any makeup on, and I was like, okay, cool, nice chit chat. I was like, okay, cool. And then she was like, and I went down to the store and I saw somebody that I knew, and I was like, okay, great. And she was like, and then she goes to me, and I ran a hit from them. And I was like, what? And she goes, I ran a hit from them. I was like, why? And she goes, I had no makeup on. And I was like, well, what's wrong with that? She goes, I'm not beautiful without makeup on. And I was like, hang on a minute. And then at that moment, I began to think to myself, what can make a young girl, she was 14, 15 at the time, believe that she needed a product in order to be beautiful.
Beauty,
yeah, that beauty was now in the product, but not within who she is. Yeah, so that's sort of like, that spurred me on to begin the campaigns, begin more further research, especially into the impact of the media on young people. Where was this coming from?
I know that myself, for example, every now and again I might wake up in the morning, have a shower, get ready, and then just before I'm about to head out, take a look in the mirror and I'll just be like, ugh, like yuck, like I just won't like the way I look. Not for any reason in particular, but those kind of feelings I do experience, and they do kind of have, they do mutilate your confidence in ways that really subtly, and just being keen not to also alienate the guys. I'm sure guys as well, they deal with this as well in different aspects and maybe in a different dynamic, but guys might feel inadequate physically one way or another. How would you like these kind of these ideals to be framed and to be seen in the world? How do you see, how are they seen at the moment? How would you like them to? How would you think it should be?
Well, I would absolutely love beauty to be seen as not something that you have to work to, based on outward appearances, more from the inside, and more emphasis on who a woman is and who a guy is. What is it that they do? Just who they are, not based on
what they look like.
Kind of like adding diversity, like seeing beauty in all different things, and not just having one thing seen as beautiful.
Definitely.
And celebrating all different stuff. And also we are shown often in adverts half naked, or our bodies kind of disjointed as an object, like we're an object to sell something.
And certain assets enhance more than others as well.
Yeah, I would absolutely love a message to get out for us women, and just for us in general, is not having to live up to the false perceptions of what is beautiful, and finding beauty, in who we are, in what we do, and
in everyday life as well.
Especially learning as a Christian myself, growing up in the church, beauty as it's seen there is about the inside and is about other qualities. But
just going on from that, it's interesting because this whole idea of inner beauty, a lot of the times I feel anyway that people sometimes restrict inner beauty to the notion of feeling good, which does fall into it, but I think also it needs to include cultivating a beautiful character, having a beautiful heart and a beautiful spirit. And I know that it talks about also in the Bible in Peter, First Peter chapter 3, where it talks about not spending so much time adorning yourself with makeup and jewelry, but having a quiet and a gentle spirit, which is precious and lovely in the sight of God. So
I think it's really cool, and I also want to say there's nothing wrong with wearing makeup, there's nothing wrong
at
with
all.
Dressing up, wearing jewelry, getting
but
clothes.
It shouldn't be your focus, I don't think. And it should be to the point where you invest so much time in wearing makeup or dressing up, where other parts of yourself are neglected, and like your mind, your spirit, all of that kind of stuff. So like you said, there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
It's just about where you place it, where it comes in terms of priorities.
But also not letting the clothes wear you wear the clothes.
I love how you put that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can say that again. I think you need to hear that, please. Yeah.
Not letting the clothes wear you, but you actually wear the clothes.
Yeah, totally.
That came up especially when at the moment the statistic is, I think from the age of 10, girls begin to go on diets.
Wow.
And the study done of 1,000 girls aged 15, 17, a quarter of them wanted to are considering plastic surgery
it's really worrying,
and things to change their bodies. Yeah. So it's
innocent age 10 years old, right?
Yeah.
Growing up, I've realised and noticed that like almost every woman, like I think I've met one female, whether young or old, who is completely and entirely happy with the way they look. There's always something, one sort of hang up or one sort of issue that they're discontent with, one aspect of their body they're just like, ugh, I don't like. What steps have you taken to help yourself and also others to learn to love themselves the way they are, and also to help yourself and others learn to see themselves like the way God sees them?
Cool. Well, I have a thing called natural beauty days.
Yeah.
And they're really fun. I had my first one with two of my friends. They came around and I was having my natural moment, and I was like, do you know what? I don't want to put chemicals in my hair anymore. I have natural hair. I'm growing my hair out. All this stuff. So it was really fun, and it caught on with my friends. And we said, let's have a completely natural day out. No makeup, no foundation, no nothing. We went to the park, and it was so relieving. We just had so much fun. We took pictures. We were like, oh my gosh, I still look good in the makeup one. It was just so much fun. And it's like a break from relying on a product to feel beautiful. Posted up pictures on the Facebook page,
cool,
on our Facebook page, and they shared it with me, and they shared the experience of it. And especially the girls were like, I didn't believe I could go a week without mascara. I didn't believe I could wear no makeup. I didn't believe I could.
But they actually did it.
Did it? Yeah. And it was so kind of liberating. It was liberating for me personally.
Also, I wanted us to talk about recent kind of craze on YouTube. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. That's sprung up and kind of taken the world by storm. Beauty blogging industry.
I think it's really resourceful in terms of, because there's not much that's out there
that can teach you and equip you with the tools and techniques.
And if I go to a hairdresser, sometimes it's I don't even know what to do with my
what
hair.
we're talking about. So
really
I agree.
Do with my hair. But then on the other side, as I said before, it can become a kind of, oh my gosh,
obsessive.
You blow dry your hair, you're not a natural girl. Oh my gosh, you use this product, you're not, and it can become just.
And you say I think there's a danger, especially for like younger females as well, who are still kind of like, I guess we're all discovering ourselves, but I guess they're at different stages of their journey of self-discovery as girls. It can become quite dangerous in the fact that some of these like images that they kind of present to us like through the DIY tutorials, not everybody's like able to attain those, because you need to be spending a lot of money and time on these products to match up to what they're telling you to do. And then if you can't, then that in itself becomes another kind of like a downer almost on you, and you start to feel like insecure, or that you're not up to scratch, or that you can't keep up or compete, I guess, with like these beauty bloggers who come from good intentions. However, I think there's, I guess, a limit to how much time you spend kind of sitting there watching them and trying to kind of replicate the looks that they're creating.
It's hard work, so much
it's
hard
a lot
work.
Of hard work.
I remember I spent one day and I tried to do a natural style with this curl thing. I spent a whole afternoon doing it, even woke up, took it out, my hair
like your result?
My hair was a mess.
That's the thing. I could never get it as right as they do. It's just like, what would you say is the difference between God's definition of beauty and beautiful and mainstream popular culture's definition of beautiful?
Well, the main scripture that comes to mind in my head is that fearfully and wonderfully made, which David said about himself. And when I went to a talk recently, what I asked the audience was, how many of us can look in the mirror and say, I am fearfully and wonderfully made, and actually believe that, and actually does our actions reflect that? Just learning to love who we are, who we've been created to be, and appreciating uniqueness. So it's like always this idea of the way you are is not good enough, and you need to change this, you need to change that, and it's like, do you know what, we've been created so differently and so uniquely, and it's like, why are we trying to, each of us trying to change that? So in the pop culture media, there's very unrealistic goals, and it puts a lot of pressure on what beauty is and how beauty is seen.
Even in older women as well, not just young girls.
But it's so hard as well, because you can believe, oh yeah, I am fearfully and wonderfully made, but then your actions don't necessarily reflect that. How what you say about yourself, what you say to others, is so crucial. when you know, you have like, you know, someone might say you look nice, you're like, oh, I feel fat in this, and it's like, what? Or you're like, oh, you look good, you lost weight. It's like, it's so, everything's kind of around, you know, the body and, you know,
everyone's always commenting on your appearance, even if they don't mean to, even if it's a compliment.
Yeah.
It's like when someone first sees you, like, you know, the Bible talks about, you know, the world, not the world, but like man seeing our outward appearance. Like, the first thing God will comment on, like, this is like, you know, the condition of our heart and ways to. But like each other, there's me comment on is, you know, oh, your hair, your boots, eye makeup. It's always, you're always, I guess, conscious of it, of what you look like, and, you know,
being celebrated
for that. But yeah. How do you know that God is real?
You know, He's given me that faith and that perseverance, that determination, that, you know, keep going.
To keep going.
Yeah. So.
Awesome. Thank you, Stephanie, so much for talking to me today. It's been wonderful, and I've really enjoyed our discussions. I'm sure that everyone watching as well will be able to gain something incredibly valuable from what we've spoken about. Thank you guys for tuning into this month's edition of Inconspicuous Influencers. I hope you enjoyed it.